As I push more into the world of portraiture and headshots in my professional world, uh, I continue to be fascinated about just how the inner workings of the industry is, and how the approach to the craft, the tools, the subject, the end result, they're so different in this particular genre, and it's quite an amazing journey to be in, and it's definitely that light bulb. You know, when you're learning something new, you can't wait to get back to it tomorrow. Like you almost don't want to go to sleep because there's so much to do, so much to learn. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and a good bit of it is really how to get that connection with your subjects portrayed through the lens, and then the other good bit of it is just the end product, right? And this sort of lends to your editing style, your cropping style as well, right? But what it really looks like as the end result, because that's what the client sees, that's what other potential clients see, and you really want that to be as on the nose as it possibly can. And for me, what that means is very recently I've been watching a lot of makeup artist tutorials. I've been watching a lot of just makeup artists do their thing, and sort of get in the minds of how they see the world, how they see their subjects and their clients, and really understanding when they think something is playful, what's their version of playful, what's their version of very buttoned up and obtuse, and what's their version of, yeah, that's just distasteful, we don't do that, we don't do that anymore. And the bridge between my photography and this makeup world has been retouching. And when talking about retouching, one of the tools that's been very valuable to me as a professional photographer, as a hobbyist enthusiast, a creator, is the company Retouch4Me. And I've mentioned this on the channel before. I am sponsored by Retouch4Me, and you can find links in the section below, the description below, to receive your discount. And I recommend that you definitely try this product out. And Retouch4Me is an AI driven retouching platform, and they've got so many different plugins. They have things for the skin. They do dodge and burning, they do skin tone, they do heals where they remove a lot of the little blemishes here and there, and then they even do things like cleaning up the background, right? If you're a studio photographer, like, this is a huge deal. They've got a dusk and spec one that, if you like me, and I can show you real quick in this image that there's definitely dust. Hang on, let me take that crop away. There it is. There's dust on that sensor, right? So they've got a fabric one. So for your clients that show up looking like they had a fight with the iron and they lost, you can sort of save that, right? And even in my e-commerce work, I do have an e-com client that's pretty steady, and I shoot all of their flat lays for their website. They're a B2B company. Um, that fabric AI plugin is so useful, because every now and then, fabric is a living, breathing, well, not living, but you get it, it's an organic material, and it doesn't always play nice. And it's nice to have a plugin that can save so much time. So Retouch4Me is something that it's the way I stack my plugins in Photoshop and create an action. It saves me so much time, even in my event work. And this is the secret sauce to why my event photos look the way they do, because I retouch every single one of them. And it really wouldn't be possible. It just, financially, it wouldn't be possible, from a time perspective, an obligation to delivering these photos in any meaningful or acceptable amount of time. It wouldn't be possible. But Retouch4Me allows me to leverage the power of AI and get the result that I'm looking for. So the latest one I'm looking at here is their makeup plugin, and I quite think it's pretty dope, and it does a few things. So let's dig right in. Let's get this crop back to pretty decent place. So here we have 3 photos, and each of these photos I'm gonna sort of show you my process from A to Z, and then we'll make the slight tweaks to the makeup at the end. And this is sort of my process when retouching. uh I would say, let me expand this. So if I expand this action that I have here, you'll start to see there's a few plugins here. So first is the heal, then the dodge and burn, then their portrait volume, which sort of accentuates the features of the subject in a pleasing way. Then the skin tones that evens it out nice. Yeah, in this plugin, let's hit this. And this gets me to a place of, I'd say, 95% of a retouch that I can live with, that I keep in house and I don't need to outsource to someone else. And that's quite valuable. Not only does it save me time, but it also saves me money. Let's go ahead and load up the face make plugin. Okay, so off the rip, you can see quite a big difference, right? You can sort of see how it changes the geometry of the face. And what's interesting here, I have to figure out what's actually doing this. What I like is, I think it might be the fact that I'm shooting with I'm shooting in a quite compressed focal length. So I'm probably at 150 millimeters in my portrait studio, and you can see that it sort of elongated the jaw a bit, and the plugin was able to bring it back. And this is super dope, right? So yes, some mistakes were made from my end on the level of where I was when I shot this portrait, but here in post I can bring it back and bring the model back to a more natural feeling space. So that's dope. And then here's the makeup. This is the one that everyone loves. This is the fun stuff, right? So if we sort of cycle through these looks, you'll see above the eyes here, you see them kicking in, and there's some really dramatic ones, right? So yeah, like look at this, the shadow wings, and this is, yeah, you can dial it in how much it is. And I suppose we leave the depth where it is so you can see the effect in full and then dial it in, but then you also have the ability to start changing the colors, and like this is I don't know what to say. This is sort of like black magic, if you ask me. And then we can do the same with the lips, right? So here's this super vibrant red, and we can bring it back a little bit, and we can go from nothing at all to just a little bit of color, maybe something a little more natural. So that in itself is dope. The skin, this is, man, there's some looks here. There's some looks here. So this dreamy highlight, I think this is one that my wife quite like. Now the model already has some makeup on, so you want to be careful with that. And a tool like this is so dope in the effect that the model does not have some makeup on, and you would like to put something there. You would like to add something, and you can get into this world where, when you learn how to properly use the tool, you can say to your models, you know what, no makeup, just bring it on natural. I'll take care of everything in post. And that's kind of dope. But yeah, I like the dreamy highlights. I'd usually dial it back to right here, and that gives we can change the color, the hue, and that really gives like a dewy look, as my wife would say. So there's something there, but it's not a whole ton. Displace, I don't really. This one's a little. I guess this is where it gets a little uncanny for me. I don't enjoy altering parts of my subjects, so the displace is something I wouldn't really use. And then texture, really, this is, you have the ability to load up whatever textures you want for some more fun stuff. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. So again, less is more with these plugins. And you kind of see how they really shape in the face, but this begs a question. With the power of AI, it's because we can, should we? And I think yes. As a as a professional photographer, um, it's really up to you to understand how the amount of editing that you're doing affects your images, how they affect your subject. It's up to you to know what a tasteful amount is, how far is too far, and how much room you have to push it even further to create the look you want. Obviously, I've been researching, I'd say, beauty photography, and beauty photography is super dope to me. And beauty photography is one that it's sort of, it's an industry crop from the mid chest up, and you're focusing on really uh, the look and the intricacies of the makeup. And then also jewelry is in there as well. Jewelry has that tight portrait crop that I quite enjoy. Um, Tools like this will allow you to really push that end result even more. And if you have a makeup artist that you really trust, sure, you can say, yeah, you go ham. You punch it up, you dial it up, you do what you need to do to that model. But then if you don't really know what to expect from your makeup artist, you can just give me something decent, give me something light, and then you come back here and face make, and you decide, all right, let's punch this up. So here we have, yeah, let's get that off. Let's see what we can do with the makeup. I really want to go something crazy here. Oh, this is beautiful. I like the reds there. About there, it's fine. The lips, take a look at what it's doing. You see here, and we really got to come in and fine tune the mask if we want, but I'll leave it alone for the sake of the video. The skin, the soft rose. Let's see, which one of these do I like? Ooh, dark desire gives it a punch. I like dark desire. You see what it did here on the cheeks. I mean, I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. I feel like there's a subtlety to the image. And I've had some of these retouch tools before that does makeup, and they're decent. I feel like they do it in a very it's too heavy-handed. And then for instance, here's a great photo. This is a headshot client, and uh I wouldn't say she's done. There's a tiny bit of makeup, right? And I would say we can probably pop it a little bit. We can give her a little more life, and face the face make is definitely, I think, the best tool for this, because the way the AI applies it is in a very, I keep saying tasteful, because that's exactly what it is. I can't find a better word for that. For her, it's really the skin. I think the nope. Mm. Let's put it to 100 so we can really see the effect. I like it. I like it. Can we get her? Let's see what we do. Kind of like the dark desire though. The dark desire is still really hidden for me. Let's get it up there. Yeah, the dark desire is definitely hidden for me. Can we give her a little bit? Just a little something on the lips. Just a little something on the lips. Okay, what are we doing with the eyes? This is nice. The mocha drama is nice. There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, no, we're not doing this. You have to be you really need to be careful with the face sculpting and lifting stuff. Wow, there's a ton of fly hairs that I would probably need to get rid of there. Yeah, but essentially I think this is a phenomenal tool. I think it's a tool for just giving your portraits that extra pop, and I really like how it's done in a tasteful way. And Retouch4Me continues to be a great partner of mine, not only because they are a partner and a friend of the channel, but also because I use it every day in my professional photography work. So highly recommend that you guys hit the description, check the link for your discount, give it a trial. It's one of those things where if you shoot with a lot of people and a lot of portraits, you'll be asking yourself, why did I not know about this sooner? And I have to be fair to people who love the craft of editing. Sure, maybe not for you, although it's huge amounts of value. But for me, the less time that I spend sitting here editing, the more time I spend with my family, with my friends, uh, coming up with new concepts, looking for clients, running my business. Like editing is cool, but it's a means to an end to the final result. I really don't enjoy the intricacy of editing like that, and I really do trust Retouch4Me for my work. So yes, my name is Ramon. Thank you for stopping by. I always say that time is the most valuable resource that we have, and I do not take it lightly that you shared yours with me here today. Take care of yourself. Peace.